So let's do the countdown. Winners semifinals in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Yeah, we have the winner semis over here. On CT2 we have around 6 losers. So once again, lots of Tetris action happening, as it is supposed to be. You can see, and you can see capture issues. The capture issues on all players, so it's nothing that can be solved just by it can be solved by giving me a minute or a second, hopefully. That'll be enough. Dooms, badooms, dooms. Yeah, looks good, so other players can be seen now. Yes, we know that the captures are not working, but I don't know, the capture card sometimes just displays black, and then I have to add the players, like the NTC again. It takes a few seconds. But we didn't miss too much, only the first about 20 lines here. On later levels, it would matter much more if we were on like level 27 and the capture died, but here in the beginning, still somewhat acceptable. So we have Tugi and Macy neck and neck, lead being in favor currently for Macy. And we have about a 3.5 Tetris lead. Wow. 100k lead now for DanV. 186 against 90 Solo Kenzie. Having to find a way to, yeah, get the 100k deficit back. Kenzie getting a bit high, trying to find the bar, but there's a bit of a drought. Okay, the bar has just arrived, and here's the Tetris. Nice spin on Tugi's side. We're now at 216 versus 238. Tetris action happening on the upper match and in the lower match here. 100k lead here basically for DanV. Actually, Kenzie able to get a bit closer now, down to about a 60k lead here for DanV. And DanV is quite high, so there's a chance that he has to burn a bit more. Oh yeah, and Lucy is posting the multi-Twitch link so that you can watch CT1, CT2, and Game Boy Tetris. So I would personally love to pin that, but I'm not logged in on this laptop, so I can't. But yeah, no, there's the multi-Twitch, which allows you to watch multiple Twitch streams at once, which in this case, you know, is all 3 classic Tetris streams, so that you can watch the winners, semis, losers round 8, and Game Boy qualification. Tons of Tetris actioning. So we are about 2/3 the way of level 18. We currently have still neck and neck between Tugi and Macy, so that development in 18 and 19 and 29 is gonna be quite interesting. We have DanV defending his 2.5 Tetris lead here and hanging the T and J piece on top, so gonna have to burn quite a bit there. Could allow Kenzie to somewhat catch up at least. We have a few skims here on DanV's side, and we can see that it is now neck and neck between DanV and Kenzie here. Barely not a Tetris lead here for DanV. 0.8 Tetrises lead to DanV now. In the upper match now, Tugi able to get the lead of about 2.5 Tetrises. You have 514 for Tugi against 455 here for Macy, as well as 460 for DanV and 419 for Kenzie. About 20 lines to go before level 19. Robin's saying McCrispy Italian. Nice line spin by McCrispy Italian. And exactly that same moment. Also Robin saying, Macy, stop chitter stacking. But yeah, we had a bit of a discussion earlier about who's the best stacker, and by we I mean mainly the chat. Because Macy is definitely in the top few stackers. Here's the next Tetris going to Tugi. Tugi at 611. Been missed here by Macy. Gonna be a bit more burning to do 613 and 581 transition, and 526 and 580. So about a 20k lead in the transition for Tugi and about an 80k lead in the transition for Dan. And yes, Kingsman promoting our Matcherino, because if you want to support the players, we do have a Matcherino. We currently don't have the pop-ups on stream, so I have to check out Matcherino like myself. So I may not see any donations immediately, but I do my best to keep an eye open on the Matcherino so that if there's any donations, I see them. Yeah. And Kingsman, please check your DMs. Gunther asked you something on Discord, so Kingsman, please check your DMs with Gunther. In the match, we have 684 and 705 for Tugi and Macy, respectively. So a small lead here currently for Macy. In the bottom match, we have 774 and 692. So 2.5 Tetris lead here for DanV. DanV having a nice lead here, whereas Tugi and Macy both fight to have a lead, some kind of lead. A small burning here on Tugi's side in the 30+ piece drought. So yeah, this drought is quite high. Macy left, so it's going to be tough to access, but he gets the piece over to the sides. Perfect. He is playing quite nice around that 50-piece drought now, and bar hang here on Macy's side, and he doesn't get anything over, but he's in the lead. Tugi needs to burn out of this, and then okay, bar to the left, that works, but he needs to burn, he doesn't burn, and that means Macy takes game number 1. What an end. Like a 60-piece drought here that just ended both players. They tried to play as aggressive as they could, and let's just say the last few thousand points were in favor of Macy, who 721 was able to do it. And that also means we can now focus a bit on the last levels of 19 between Dan and Lucanzi. Dan having the max out on level 26, so could get a 1.1 easily. Whereas Lucanzi is still looking to get the max out. Tetris and some change for Lucanzi and max out. But of course we do have level 29 speeds, and 29 speeds, a lot can change. When I say a lot, I do genuinely a lot. Okay, so 6 lines to go until level 29. We have the Tetris here for Lucanzi. Lucanzi 106. We have 109 transition here for DanV. DanV now on level 29, setting it up for the Tetris. 106 transition here for Lucanzi. So about a 30k lead here in the transition for Dan. Dan getting the bar into a Tetris. Also the Tetris here for Lucanzi. Both players playing as aggressive as they reasonably can here. We saw in the transition that the players can go for 1.3s, 1.4s. Lucanzi having the highest single qualifier game here. Okay, bar dependency filled in on DanV's side. DanV now set up for the Tetris, getting the bar Tetris to DanV. DanV at 1.2. So about 100k lead here currently in favor of DanV. DanV playing just a bit more aggressive, and on 29 speeds, you get a ton of points for the Tetris. Yeah, next Tetris here going to DanV. DanV bar dependency, filling it in to play a bit lower. Safety first here in level 29. Next Tetris, high Tetris here happening on Lucanzi's side. Lucanzi also at 1.2, hanging on the left side. This could be really dangerous. Yeah, but it's also not easily accessible. Skimming a single, not getting the bar over. Topping out at 1.22. But we have the next TTWC here on Dan's side. Dan, feel free to play to the end, but no. Whew. 10 topping out at 1.339. That's holy, such a massive game here for DanV. And Lokenzi, amazingly well played here. Great, level 29. That has ended in a 1-0 for Dan. What a game! What a game that was. Is all okay, Dan? Dan is now having controller issues. Luckily after the game and not during the game. Let's just do a quick reset and hope that everything will immediately work. I haven't seen that before, but let's say kinda interesting. Did Dan's controller die on stream? I believe Dan's controller just died on stream. Wow. Oh no. Maybe it's the console as well, we don't know for sure. Okay, it looks like all is working, he's able to do proper inputs again. Whew, so all good. I was scared here for a second. So that means we just need to set up seats and everything, and then we can do one more simul start. Okay. So Kenzie needs to strike back here. Wants to strike, I guess. So players, are you ready to go? Yes. They are. So let's start game number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So we had a nice long game number 1 between DanV and Lokenzi. Tugi and Macy got pretty rough routes, especially one that was nearly 60 pieces. That put both of them out of game. And as 3Chess is pointing out, there's lots of codes left in the Macherino. And we hope that we can get the Macherino properly on stream latest tomorrow. Hopefully even today. You know, the notifications when people support us as in the players, because all of the prize money does go to the players. It is up on the Macherino page. Being the winner of NES gets 35%, second place 20, third place 10, and for Game Boy it's 20, 10, and 5. We have Macy being quite high here, but he's able to burn on a few lines. Very good. Left side bar goes over. LJD Penalty fill in. Perfect. Next J piece as well. Yeah, looked really dangerous, but now open. Getting the bar and Tetris for Macy. 99, 83. So still quite close. The match between Dan and Lokenzi has a single difference between them. Had at that point at least. Now it's a bit bigger, but it is neck and neck here in both matches. So neither of them having any advantage. Macy having a bit of a digging situation here. Not skimming, I guess. He can now play too high. And he does get the too high Tetris. As the roller playing too high is pretty standard, so I wouldn't be surprised if Macy tries to stay there for a bit. And the bottom match, Dan is building up a small lead of now about 1.5 Tetris lead here against Lokenzi. We have 257, 242, so Lokenzi got it below the Tetris lead. Still neck and neck. Upper match neck and neck, but Macy has played a few lines more, so in that regards there's a pace lead for Tugi. Talk about Tugi. Let's see if I can get the webcam to look a bit nicer here. Let's So, but I have absolutely no idea about how this looks, so if I'm like, I'm not sure, I will just stop immediately. But this is, I believe, a bit better. Yeah, we now have to get 302, and we have Matteo at 226, so about a 40k lead, and we have done at 1.5 Tetris lead here. And I just got the link here for the Maturino, so we will add that basically as soon as possible. So optimally, by the end of this game, you can see anything or like everything that happens on Maturino, which is, the codes that are for free. If you redeem a code, it adds 25 cents to the prize pool, and you can donate as well. And all of the donation, that's not taken by Maturino takes like 1% or so, is then prize money for the players. We have passed the 100 line mark, which means we're getting close to level 19. It's gonna happen in 20 to 30 lines here. So level 19 is when we can see, stacking differences potentially having a big impact. And of course, we're mainly interested in the then following level 29. Or any crazy stuff, of course, that happens in general, but 19 is generally still okay, unless you get like 60 plus piece draws, of course. TP setup here on Tugi's side. On the bottom, we have a 3.5 Tetris, now 4.5 Tetris lead. In the upper match, we have a 3.5 Tetris lead. So Tugi and DanV both having a noticeable lead. But as we saw earlier, a lead sometimes doesn't matter too much if you top out due to, for example, not handling the drought quite as well as the other person. Transitioned at 6:06 and 6:35, so massive transitions here for Tugi and Dan. 5:24 transition for Macy, so 80k, and 6:21, so about 100k lead. Yeah. We have Tugi in a bit of a higher situation where he needs to dig a bit. This could mean that Macy can catch up 1 or 2 Tetrises. I don't expect much more, but let's see. Next Tetris here going to Macy. Macy now down up to a 40k point difference only. And the bottom match lead is actually increasing a bit. It's now about 140k. Next Tetris is going to Macy. Actually, Macy has nearly caught up completely to Tugi, as Tugi is only now open once again. So next Tetris, simul Tetris even. 7:06:81, so less than Tetris lead here now for Tugi. So if you take the lines out of into consideration, yeah, it's neck and neck. It's basically the same score. Next Tetris is going to Tugi. Next Tetris is going to Macy. In the bottom match, the lead is getting a bit smaller now. It's only 140, so there's like 20k that Dokenzi caught up, but it's still pretty much a massive lead here for our British player. Upper match, Tugi is able to build up the lead once again, also having played 9 lines more, so over 2 Tetrises played more and having under 2 Tetrises lead. Went a bit more burning here now on Tugi's side. This could be the chance for Macy to actually take game number 2 and maybe push the Siege 1 pretty close. That's gonna be a mental game potentially at that point for Tugi. You lose like the first 2 games. Level 26 for Tugi now, so we're getting to the end game of level 28 and close to 29. Yeah, and Macy only 10k behind Tugi here. Next Tetris going to Macy. Macy now on the lead. Tetris is for both. In the bottom match, 2.5 Tetris lead here, or 3.5 Tetris lead here now for Dan. So we have 972, 863. Upper match, Tugi does need level 29 efficiency at this point. Macy is a bit high, is close, needs to burn a few lines, but just a few is open after this double here. Next Tetris to both players. Max out for Tugi, max out for Macy. 105, 100. But yeah, as I said, like 10 lines difference. Next time Tetris, 109 transition into level 29 here for Tugi, 109. So 1.5 Tetris lead currently. Next Tetris here going to Macy. Macy can still go for one more Tetris here on level 28. Small missile of that red SPs here on Tugi's side. Gets the next bar over, gets a few singles to burn in. In the bottom match also double max out. We have the level 29 and 1.1 for DanV as well. And Macy having issues, doesn't get the red JPs over to the left, topping out at 108, which means you have the 1-1 between Dan and Macy. In the bottom match, we now have both players, but DanV hangs a bar, which means it's now up to chase down. Your goal is 1.153. So, about 100k to go, but this is going to be a bit tougher now. Need something for the left side. Please give him! Nice double, nice Tetris here for Kenzie. Just calm, line it out. You don't need to play that aggressive. We have 50k to go, not even. Just take singles and doubles and you will be able to get there. Yeah, you need about 20k left to go, and that Tetris does it! Wow, what a game. What a game we just had. Whew. That was amazing duel played here. So we have 1-1 and 1-1. Evenly closed game so far, evenly closed matches. Fox Danny saying, lol, Gunther more nervous than the players. It is true in a way. Because we see all of the players, not just one. Yeah, this is intense. It is intense. Players, do you want to go for game 3 now? Oh yeah, it's like a 10-second delay or so on the stream. Maybe even more. But yeah, it's kind of funny. We're like, hey players, you wanna go? And then like, they cheer like, oh yeah, they cheer for us to go. Welcome in the chat. Also saying, 4 players, 4 countries, truly international. How it should be. And with these words, let's start game number 3 between these 4 players. Let's go! 3, 2, 1, Tetris! The beginning is always calm. The calm before the storm. Just some level 18 where the players try to poke each other, try to be like, can I maybe do this, do that, to get a small advantage in until it gets into level 19. And of course, level 29 where you then just try to somehow overwhelm your opponents. So of course in the beginning it's neck and neck. Wait. How come that the boards between Tugi and Macy were like this similar? That looked virtually the same. I didn't see any difference there for a moment. Quite interesting. Yeah. Single lead here currently for Macy. Next Tetris to Tugi. Next Tetris to Macy. Macy has played that single more than Tugi has. Next Tetris now going DanV. DanV having about 1.5 Tetris lead. Next Tetris Kenzie and Dan. So yeah. as I said, 18 is calm, but at 29 earlier, we saw the line-out by Lukenzi was intense. Like the situations Lukenzi had to survive. Whew. But that's also why Aroda should win against the Des and the Tepper basically all games. That's because of how much you can get done on level 29. And this is only the winners semifinals. There's the winners finals and the grand finals still coming up, so there's a lot more happening. Yeah, most of that will happen tomorrow. I believe today we have like losers round 7. So losers semifinals, I believe, as well. Yeah, so everything in the finals bracket that's still to come at the winners bracket is tomorrow, because you have a third day. Yesterday we had North qualifications. 2 players did online qualifications. Today we have the first part of the bracket, and tomorrow we have the finals as well as the Game Boy bracket. Nice spins here on DanV's side. First half of 18 is already done. We have neck and neck between Tugi and Macy, and about a 3.5 Tetris lead here for DanV. So currently Dan is in the lead. Next Tetris here going to Dan. Bit of a cleanup that Lukenzi has to do here. Just a few lines. And can now go for the next Tetris, and so can Macy. Macy now having about a 1.5 Tetris lead. So bit of a lead here at least to Macy. Now also going for a column 7 Tetris. And here's the next Tetris going to Macy. In the bottom match we have the next Tetris going to DanV. And one more going to Lukenzi, and one more going to DanV. Yeah, it's neck and neck between Tugi and Macy. Now Tugi had the lead for a bit, now Macy has the lead again, so whenever Tugi gets the next bar, Tugi will have the lead. Just back and forth, neither of them can have any time of cooldown. The bottom matchup we have 541 and 465, so about 3.5 Tetris lead here currently for DanV. Light overtap here of DanV, I believe, of that long bar. But doesn't matter too much getting the next Tetris in. And we are close to level 19, about 10 lines to go. Next Tetris for Macy. Now Macy once again 1.5 Tetris ahead, having played 3 lines more. So it's still basically neck and neck. As Tugi gets the next Tetris, closing in the lines, and it's now actually still 1.5 Tetris for Macy. Macy in a proper lead here for the first time on level 18 this game. Just before the level 19 transition, 656, 551 in the bottom transition, about a 120 lead. In the upper match, 600 for Macy, not for Macy, for Tugi. Tugi quite high, Macy transitioning 640, also quite high. Both players are able to burn this down slowly but surely. Next Tetris is happening as well. And the 1.5 Tetris lead here for Macy. Also in the chat asking, who is Matteo? Is he new? Matteo is also known as Macy, as Mercurity. That's why I call him Macy. It's the easiest name for me, like the one that I know him by. But he is playing under his legal first name here, this tournament. Lukenzi being a bit high, wanting a bar burn, like to Tetris of course, or to take a burn a bit. Yeah, he has next Tetris. Then saying, Macy, you are suspiciously good for a newbie. That is fully true. Yes. That's why he's not a newbie. Next route of 20 pieces. Please not once again 60 plus. We have both players quite high. Okay, safety burns are coming in. 30 plus now guaranteed. Next burns. Here 40 piece drought. And here's the bar for Tugi and for Macy. Tugi got the Tetris. Macy didn't. Now both players are cleaning up a bit. It is back and forth, neck and neck. 0.001 of a Tetris. Few hundred pieces difference here. But they survived the 40 plus piece drought. Well played. Well played. In the bottom match, we have a 8.5 Tetris lead here now for DanV. DanV having a 2.5, 250,000 point lead here against Lokenzi. So this is going to be a tough game for Lokenzi to win. Tough, but possible. In the upper match, Tugi now has a bit of a lead under a Tetris still, and having played the Tetris more online, so it's still neck and neck. Next Tetris here now to Macy. Now Macy having the lead. And we're getting close to level 29. Just a few more levels of 19 speed do remain here until we will get to final stages of game number 3. Tetris is happening on the upper match. 988, 991. Max out for Macy. Max out. Actually 1.1 for DanV. We already having a 1.1. What the heck? Such a method. Wait. No, I was like, can DanV get a 1.3 until 29? No, he can't. Luckily, that is not possible. That would have been so insane. But 1.2 for DanV, kinda easy now. He needs only one more bar, and he has it. And heads to close the well. 20 plus piece drought as well. Tugi doesn't get the bar over, and that means Macy takes game number 3. 1.2 for Tugi as well here in the meantime. Lokenzi quite high, only having an 840. Okay, then V is set up for the next Tetris. He doesn't get the J pieces over, gets the next bar. Also, next Tetris here for DanV. DanV staying in. And both players now playing, you know, the casual 19 where you just go for singles. You try to get as low in the stack as possible. Next Tetris here, though, for Lokenzi. Lokenzi is 10 Tetrises behind, though, so needing a ton of them. And far too high, can't get the next bar over. Topping out at 906. So DanV is just muddling here, and honestly, DanV, feel free to. Okay, here's not more. Does, of course, also take a bit of stamina. And that means DanV takes game number 3. Next up is match point for Macy and match point for DanV. Keep in mind, DanV is our currently reigning CTWC France champion. Oh, Lokenzi has knee issues, so getting an extra chair, trying to get a bit more comfortable. Some players have like a small stool for their foot to put it on, so that it's in a bit more comfortable position. Yeah. Match point for Macy. Match point for Lokenzi. For DanV. So the French and the British in the match point. If they win now, they will face tomorrow in the winner finals. Okay. So let's see how the players are doing. I believe DanV is enjoying a bit of a break here. Just a few seconds of relaxing your fingers. Oh yeah, and luckily we can adjust the camera at least a bit. Let's see how much. But Lokenzi, keep in mind, being comfortable is more important. It looks like we are basically completely ready here. So let's start the countdown while Sivel is doing the tag. So let's start game 4. Match point Macy, match point DanV in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. The players have started, and as we expect, the beginning at least does have the same stacking ideas. So we see like the same placements in the beginning at least. It has now diverged for the players. Let's enjoy the slower 18 ones again before we will have 19 and 29, and that's honestly just gonna be crazy again. Like, DanV is such a high skill player. Like, in this match alone, DanV got a 1.3, a 1.1 and a 1.3. So in 3 games, DanV got an average of 1.3. Like, in the average of 2 for like these standings basically. Qualification. So if DanV, if you qualified now, you would have gotten your score. 3 games in. That's insane. Lukenzi is like, he underqualified just to play against Lukenzi. I mean, he couldn't know that he wasn't gonna be seed number 1 for Tugi qualified, so that luckily doesn't work too well. It's just insane when you look at these players. I mean, also, Lukenzi, the first 2 games, 1.2, 1.1. We now had Macy getting a max out at 1.1 also. Well, max out is not that impressive, but like 1.3 is crazy. But yeah, if you want to support players who can get more or less constant 1.3s like Dan, please type !Matcherino, and we have gotten 2 donations in the last, I don't know, I have to manually check all of this. We have Toast, $10 saying, check out the Toast Twist Open after CTWC France, twitch.tv/gbtoast. So I guess when we finish at about 19 UTC, so in about 2 hours, we will rate Toast, GB Toast, for the Open, and Matt saying go Lukenzi, $50 saying go Lukenzi, and Danny is saying 31 codes remaining, free money. Yeah, 31 codes is 1 code is 25 cents. Yeah, exactly 25 cents. So if you just click on the code, you will be able to add up to $7.75 to the prize pool, which is nice. That just gets added to the prize pool. So feel free to use that option. Let's take a look at how the game currently is going. We have neck and neck between Tugi and Macy. Could have guessed. And we have a big lead here for DanV once again. An 7 Tetris lead here. Now an 8 Tetris lead here for Dan. 185 lead here for Dan. So Dan opening really strong once again on level 18. Gonna mean that Lukenzi has to catch up a ton on level 19 and 29. And of course, don't forget, even if Lukenzi happens to lose the game and the match, there's still the lower bracket. So Lukenzi, even if losing against DanV here, has a chance of taking the tournament. Just would have to win twice in the grand finals, which is possible. The same, of course, does apply to all of the other players here. We play double domination, have a fair tournament to give everyone best chances of winning. So we are close to level 19. We have 528, 545 in the upper match, and 570, 428 in the lower match. So upper match, as I said, is neck and neck. Lower match Kenzie is actually getting a bit closer now, down to about 6 Tetris's, now 5 Tetris's lead here for DanV. That's 3 Tetris's closer than before. It's still, DanV 18, holy. Bit setup here for Kenzie, does the bar come in time? Also, 576 transition for DanV, 576. Yeah, we have a bit of a drought in the bottom. 37 pieces now. 640 transition for Macy. Huge transition for Macy. And DanV not getting the pieces to where they need to be in the transition. So this is now a chase down situation here for Kenzie. Kenzie can force a decider. You need 602, 602, 50 piece drought. This is when DanV topped out. 54 piece drought here, and that's what you need to survive to be able to have a chance at the CTWC France semifinals. That was tough. In a similar situation, Tugi and Macy topped out in their game number 1 actually. So Kenzie 602, about 50k that you need to do. In the upper match, we just have a 1 Tetris lead and some change. Now 2 Tetris lead change. 3 Tetris lead and some change here for Tugi getting 3 Tetrises, basically back 3 back. So yeah, now the Macy needs to get a bit more efficient, potentially, or just play 29. But mainly Macy needs to get open, just gonna be a bit. And that does it for Kenzie. Kenzie takes game number 4, and they will be able to play, or forced even to play a decider there. Okay, we will have a short break for the bottom match because Kenzie needs to have a bit of a break. Understandable. As you will play 5 games in a row. Best of 5. Gonna be to the end here. Upper match, we have 890 against 765, so now we have a 155 lead here for Tugi. Actually, can Tugi take this game and we will have a double decider? So. Maybe we can get a double decider start. Let's. Are you ready? Okay, that match is ready, so let's start them. Let's do a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. And I feel like that's the cheering for Kenzie somehow managing. Yeah, that's the chant for the decider. Yeah. Somehow that aligned with the start that we have. Kinda funny. But yeah. Just massive delay. Level 27 in the upper match. Tugi having the 1.1 already. So this is gonna be a massive chase down for Macy if he wants to take the game now and the match. Otherwise, we will have a second decider. Level 29, just a few lines away. So let's take a look at what Tugi and Macy can do. Tugi 1.16, A7 now here, sorry, B7 for Tugi. Also max out here for Macy. Macy can get 1 final Tetris into level 29. Gonna transition at A04. So yeah, 140k lead here for Tugi. Tugi on the left does get the bar over. Macy is set up for the bar. For the Tetris, once the bar does take a bit. Here's the bar, Tetris for Macy. About a 3 Tetris deficit here currently for Macy. Oh, Tugi doesn't get the bar over to the left. Let's see, but yeah, the next LPs does go over. So Tugi does stay in. He can get the next few burns here. We have a bit of a messy situation over Macy's side, but this could still be. Now he doesn't get the bar over. Macy tops out at a 1.1, and that means Tugi takes game number 4. And we have 1 more decider. So it is 2-2 and 2-2. What types of matches do we have here in the semifinals? And like these 2 matches that we have right now could be the finals. They are so intense. I love it. Okay, so bottom match, we are now at 194, 189. A slight lead here for Kenzie currently. And whoever wins will go to the winners finals. Whoever loses will be in the top 6 losers. And Tugi, Macy, whenever you're ready, we can start your next game. I don't want to pressure you or anything. Feel free to take a breath, feel free to drink a bit, feel free to actually take the time to be ready. They're ready. Okay, so let's start. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Basnata also asking, was the quote audible from the stream? It was loud here. The answer is sadly no, but I can't hear it, and there's a lot of, chanting and everything going on. And thanks to CT2 for the rate of 26 people, which means there's now only CT1 remaining. Wait, is that correct? Wasn't there supposed to be one more round later today? Yes, the schedule says we will have losers round 7 later. And there's the classic, let's go Tugi, Tugi sucks from down below. Sadly, my reception isn't good enough that I can go down. I have like a wireless microphone. Like, maybe you can see it on stream. I believe you should be able to hold it like this. Maybe? Yeah, if I hold it like this, this is like a wireless microphone setup that I have. It's like a, which is pretty nice. But the reception isn't well enough that I can go downstairs and you can still hear me. So it works here, but it doesn't work downstairs. And bit of action here going on. The bottom match is getting close to level 19, where it will get just that bit more intense. We now have about a 1.5 Tetris lead here to DanV, as well as a neck and neck. 1.5. Yeah, okay. It's a neck and neck situation up as well. I accept that. I yield. 30 lines to go in the bottom match, as I said, quite close to level 19 here. And hopefully not having a 50 plus piece drought around the transition. The players would be happy if that wasn't the case. Next set was now going to Macy, 196 Macy, 211 DanV. Bottom match 539 DanV, 459 Lokenzi. Or about a now 2.5 Tetris lead, now 3.5 Tetris lead for DanV. 80k lead to DanV. Clean checks so far. But I'm really just hoping to not have such a long drought. We have like had the transition 50 piece drought twice now. Once for Tugi and Macy, once for DanV and Lokenzi. Next set was here going to Lokenzi, 574, 631. I feel like the TP was supposed to go one more to the left on DanV's side. Gonna get the bar over, of course. And Lokenzi does miss the T-spin transition 577, transition 657. So about, yeah, the 80k lead that we had earlier. Half of the upper match is also done. Both players at like a 660 transition projection currently. So, yeah, Macy and Tugi showing us what they can do. Next set was going to Lokenzi, about a 3 Tetris lead here for DanV. We take the lines into consideration. Yeah, Lokenzi does have to find a way to catch up to DanV here, but it shouldn't be too hard. Depending, of course, on how efficient DanV plays. But, DanV, as I said, reigning French champion. He has a title to defend. He does not want to go in the loser's bracket here. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but he wants to avoid that by all means necessary or possible. Upper match, we now have about a Tetris lead here for Macy. So, I mean, 1.05 Tetris is basically neck and neck. Bottom match, we're now level 22, 23, and we have 4.7 Tetrises, but also having played 10 lines more, so But that looked like the piece didn't go over for a second there on Luckenzi's side. But luckily it did. In 920, 762. And we have one rate of Lil Cutie Hannah of 11 people. Welcome at CTWC France. We have Tugi versus Macy, Dan versus Luckenzi. We have had multiple 1.3s already. This is the final game in the winner semis. So it looks intense. It was intense. And level 29 speeds will get so effing intense here. So you have joined at the right moment when it's the most intense. Level 19 transition has also happened in the upper match. Quite a nice lead here for Macy of like 2 Tetris's in the transition. DanV is quite high here. He needs something for the center. He doesn't get the TPs to the left over. He needs... Oh, the left side is going to be so tough. Center, not the next TPs as well. Max out and top out. But Luckenzi also having the TPs not getting to where it needs to be. Doesn't get the thing to the left. And that means Luckenzi tops out at 900k. And we have DanV taking the game, taking the match, and making it to the winners finals. 3-2-2, and that means let's just focus on the other match. But now I missed Tugi's top out doing that at 6:31, which means we have Macy and DanV facing off in the winners finals tomorrow.